image I showed. And there's things you can do straight off if you want to just wholesale make everything look the same. You can scale based on DPI. And what we would end up doing is making, you pick a certain DPI. So in this case, I took the Android one at 254. I knew the resolution relative to that, and then based on every other device that I loaded up on, it would know relative DPI to 254, and then just scale the image. Now scaling has its issues. You don't want to scale down to up, because you'll get pixelization. But in most cases, if you have high-res stuff and you scale down, well, you're scaling down to a worse DPI, and people won't notice the pixelization because they're used to it. And it's actually, you get less pixelation going down. So there is some things, some realms you can play in. And for this, I actually was playing in the realm of applications, and it actually kind of works nicely for some things. And I'll show you two examples here. One is, the pick quick is, what I did there was actually did a hybrid approach. So I started with the background being, the concentration didn't show it. I actually have a banner up top and the whole background. I have two images there, and I'm actually painting based upon how much real estate I have. So I actually made sure that I was big enough, tall enough for 768, because that was my biggest tablet that I have. And then anything else, I would just still paint across that. What I did is I actually checked the DPI. If anything was bigger than, let's see. So what I'm checking is this need scaling attribute. Is I'm actually checking screen size is less than 5 inches, and if the screen DPI threshold meets my threshold. So what this idea was, so I'm passing that in. So what I wanted to do was find that one device, because on tablets I figured, if they're just bigger, I don't care if they're a little off on the DPI, because I know the resolutions are high enough that when I paint it, it's going to still look decent. But it's that one resolution, that 480 by 320 on a 3.5-inch device, is just not going to work. So in this, I did this hybrid approach, where I check to see if it's less than 5 inches, because I know that's not a tablet, and see if the resolution is just way off on the DPI. And then I actually do scaling. So I just automatically know I'm just going to scale it by 60%. And then in this approach, I didn't wholesale scale everything. What I actually do is I have that utility class that I had, get the scaling factor. If it needs scaling, so if it's the iPhone 3GS, I go ahead and apply the scaling across this. But I have this value to then not just scale. So these are scaling the images. So these embed images that I was talking about that are drawn over, they get scaled and drawn correctly with the matrices. But then I go ahead and use that scaling for, you saw the numbers and the boxes. So I have a lot of text in here and the scoring stuff. So I go ahead and actually scale the actual size. So then you don't, because those are the pain points. Those are the things you usually see artifacts in. So I went ahead and actually scaled the actual text size. So these are the different approaches you can take to this. So be aware that you can't have control of the DPI and screen resolution, and there is things you can do. So this is nice because this was simple, and I was able to still get one code base that worked really nicely across these. Yeah, right?
For graphics, what's the performance penalty in MIDI for scaling?
So in this case, since I have a really small bitmap and I'm drawing it linearly across it, the performance is really small. The biggest performance with bitmaps is that they're too large. So you definitely, this approach, you can't have something too large that's just going to choke, because it's just going to, if you just load up a 2,000 pixel by 2,000 pixel bitmap, it's just not going to load well, and it's in memory. So there's different approaches with Cash's bitmap matrix to help you with stuff, and then things like I did here, I did a smaller one, and then I just drew it across the whole screen. So I have a pattern in the background, so it's only like the 30 pixels by 800, and that's what I'm drawing across, and that's a lot more doable. And then I'm actually, when I do the draw, I'm not drawing